Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to my channel. This is kind of just a video of me going to be doing a sort of some reviews and also some, blast to the past, I guess is what the fuck they would call it. But it's mostly just talking about, this segment's really going to be about Nintendo and game stores. Um, that's what I thought this video should be about. Two big things of gaming that kind of were, one of the big things of gaming. And I thought I'd have a discussion about that. The first part about it is, like I said, game stores. Game stores to me, and are till this day, one of the biggest things that's great about gaming. Because you can go to some game stores, especially like GameStop up in New York City, unbelievable. Like they have this. Well, it's not everyone. They have some. They got like one big. Mm, I know they got like one big one, and it's so amazing. That's where like God, they do like their big midnight launches. And it's just so amazing. I would love to go to one. I actually do have plans to go to one of those. Just to go, just to kind of have that experience of just going to one of these big events. It's just fucking awesome. Stuff you would see. But yeah, so like game stores are just they've been around since I maybe the 80s. I'm not sure. I grew up in the 90s, so they could have been since the 70s. I know gaming's been around since the 70s. But at the same time, I'm not sure if there's game stores. I know you were able to rent games, even though there really wasn't much in the 70s. It was around like the 80s when there was really stuff for gaming. But as far as I'm not really sure if there were game stores. I do know like there's the four big ones that I know of. There could be more. So if there's more, tell me about them because there's some that I don't know, and I'm talking about big name ones. I'm talking about ones that were like around. They were around. For instance, you had KB Games, which was again KB Games. I didn't really know much about it. They were kind of gone when I was around a kid. I didn't really get much. Basic game store. Then you had, I believe, in my memory, EB Games, Game Crazy, and then you had shit. I don't know why I blinked on that. GameStop. So you had those four big ones, and again you had, like I said, KB Games and EB Games, and Game Crazy. Game Crazy to me that was the the game store for me. I loved Game Crazy because it was right next to most Game Crazies were right next to, or they were actually in Hollywood Video. And if some of you remember what Hollywood Video is, some of you may not. Hollywood Video again, before Netflix was really a huge thing and Hulu. So Hollywood Video, I loved Hollywood Video. I chose it more than Blockbuster, mainly because Blockbuster was fucking expensive. So fucking expensive. So you had Hollywood Video, which you go there and you just pick what you wanted. It was real fun. Just go around as a kid, and then you would see Game Crazy, and you're like, oh, games, and you go to them, and like again, to me as growing up with not much, you would go to Game Crazy, and like you would see, I would have friends that would have like the Xbox and the PlayStation 2, and I would see like the Nintendo 64 and Nintendo and PlayStation, which Game Crazy had. They had all the old consoles, and I just like, fuck yeah, I gotta get these, and I would get them, and I make them seem so amazing. And like in all my friends, dude, had Xboxes and PlayStation 2s, they would have to go back to those. Like I gotta get a fucking PlayStation or Nintendo 64. Because let's face it, old school gaming, no matter how far this generation goes of gaming, it's always fucking awesome to go back to like old school gaming. It it just is. It's just I don't know. It's that's to me that's one of the reasons why I like Game Crazy so much is because just it had, like I said, it had the new gener it had the the current from that time. It had the new games, and it also had a lot of the old ones. It was also because of Game Crazy I found out that Grand Theft Auto was on the PlayStation 1. If it was never for Game Crazy, I would have never realized that Grand Theft Auto 1, 2, and London were on PlayStation. I thought that was kind of amazing. At first, I was kind of like, I was joking about it. Like, I remember specifically, I go in there, I just bought a PlayStation 1, and then like about like a few days later, I got enough money to get some games. So I bought Twisted Metal and Crash Bandicoot, Spyro, and then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna see. I know it's stupid, but let me ask. And I asked, and I was like, do you guys have GTA? And they're like, yes. I was like, what the fuck? So they showed me the three that they had. They had GTA, GTA London, and then they had GTA 2. So I was like, I'm getting GTA 2. I was like, because it's one the newer one of from that generation. So I had to get it. I had to get GTA 2. So I got GTA 2, and we had no idea that it was a top down. We had no clue when we took it home. So we put it in, and it was a top down. And we're like, what the like we were kind of confused by it at first, but instantly I thought of it as like like my brothers are like, oh, this sucks. But me, I looked at it as like, nah, fuck that. It's like arcade top down. Fuck it, I'm gonna play it. And it still had that freedom. You can drive around, run around, do missions. It was awesome. I loved it. It was real fun. But so that's kind of what it was. And then I bought a Game Boy Color, bought a Game Boy Advance, bought a whole bunch of games. I never could afford the DS. That was also when the PSP and the Nintendo DS was like a huge hit. And that was also when the rumored for the Xbox Portable, like Microsoft was getting in on this. It's like supposed to be so because you had the console wars. Now you're gonna have the handheld wars, which everyone already knows. No matter what, Nintendo always comes out on top of it. It's always the same thing. Sure, Sony they release always something of high tech. They've always had the PSP, very high tech, just very impressive, but it never succeeded. Like it was doing well, and then of course like I said, it was doing well. Then they got what the PS Vita now, which is just too expensive. But Nintendo has always rised from they've always have they've always rised up, and that's the one thing I love about Nintendo is that they're gonna be here for a long time, and I hope they never leave. I think if Nintendo leaves, it's gonna be just as sad as seeing Sega go. I mean, we probably won't ever not see Nintendo again, but like I hope Nintendo doesn't end up like Sega, where they have to make multiple games on multiple platforms. They can't have their own console. Sega kind of fucked themselves over by just releasing console after console after console after console. And then they kind of went out with a bang on the Dreamcast, which was like fucking way ahead of its time. But it was just so amazing. Not to mention, it was the first ever game console to bring MMO gaming. So I mean, nowadays, what like you see it on the 360, there's not that many. PlayStation 3 has a few, and now the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, they're getting quite a bit. But it's like the Dreamcast was like the fucking first, so they'll always be known as like we were the fucking first. They're most likely might end up being like that annoying person in the comments going first, but that's just that's not how it is. But yeah, but Nintendo, oh man, Nintendo, that is my childhood console. That is still what I play today. I have a 3DS. That's mostly what I play on. I don't have a Wii U yet. I'm trying to get me a Wii U. I think the current console I have from Nintendo is the GameCube. But yeah, so that's really the recent one that I have. I have a GameCube and obviously a 3DS. Um, we'll be getting a Wii U pretty soon, but like I said, I was going to talk. Like I said, I'm going to be talking about game stores, which I've already discussed, and Nintendo, which Nintendo is still. When it comes down to consoles, I mostly use an Xbox. That's like the my choice of game console, sort of. But when it comes down to it, it's like if someone was to offer me an Xbox or Nintendo, I'll always will go with Nintendo. Nintendo was the console I grew up with. It's the console I still love playing today. It's the game it's the game console and the games. I just love them. They're just so great. They're just so amazing. I love them. Don't get me wrong, I like PlayStation as well. I also, but I love Xbox. But by far, when it comes to like any console, Nintendo is always there. Um, for instance, like I said, the 3DS. I love the 3DS. I think it's stupid what they made the 2DS. I still can't figure out who that's for. I don't even know if it's selling. I mean, I get it. You could, it's like, oh, it doesn't have the 3D effect. I totally get that. I mean, you can you can turn it off. Yeah, you can turn off the 3D. I mean, yeah, you can turn it on and then turn it off. You're able to do that. The one thing I didn't get about the 2DS is that like I said, it doesn't have the 3D functionalities, but you can't fold it. I thought that was like kind of the stupid purpose of what Nintendo's handhelds have always been about. Their handhelds has always been you put it in your fucking pocket and you go on your way. I want to know who that for. It's like I love Nintendo, I love their handhelds, but I don't like putting comfortable things in my pockets. And you look, it's to me, it's the only game, the only gaming handheld that requires a carrying case. PSP, put it right in your pocket. Game Boy, DS, 3DS, PS Vita, you put it right in your pocket. The 2DS, you had to have a fucking carrying case for it. Why? To me, it's just useless. I never understood the 2DS. I never got it. I can see, they're trying to make it seem like, oh, this is more safe for kids because sometimes kids, they can spaz out with 3D effects. Like, yeah, that's cool, but couldn't you have just made a normal 3DS and just took out the 3D function capabilities altogether and just still have the comfortable folding? Like, you could have. That's the one thing I love about it is put it right in your pocket. I never got it, but anyways, but yeah, the Nintendo 3DS. Love it. It's by far still my favorite handheld. Like I said, I played the PSP. I've always played. I got to play the PS Vita at GameStop. I didn't really get to. I haven't bought a PS Vita. It's too fucking expensive. If I'm gonna spend about the money of a console, I'm gonna buy a console. I'm not gonna buy a handheld for like 300 fucking bucks. I know the price dropped to like 250, but that's for a regular PS Vita. And me, how I am with handheld gaming, it's like that's why I like the 3DS. The 3DS, it has online capabilities, so it's like you can play online as long as you have Wi-Fi and all that other stuff. As long as there's a Wi-Fi, you can play online wherever you go. That's why I love the 3DS. The PS Vita, you're gonna the regular PS Vita, it only works with Wi-Fi, but so of course you're gonna want the one with 3G, which is $50 more, which is $300, which is the price of a fucking console. Like I said, if I'm gonna spend that much money, I'm gonna buy a console. So yeah, that's basically how I feel about the PS Vita. It's just it's too overpriced. I mean, I know like the 3DS, it was about the same price too, around $250, and they kind of did a big price drop. Um, but at least they did it sooner than what the PS Vita did. PS Vita, it's just now at like 250 to 300. That's not good. That's not going to get your sales up. Not as much as they wanted to. And then they got the new PS Vitas, which is like, oh, they're in different colors now. Not a smart move. I mean, if your PS Vita is not selling well now, and if your excuse is like, oh, I know why it's not selling well, because we don't have different colors. We need different colors. You're making a way bigger mistake by releasing more things that aren't selling well. That's like if Sega, which was Sega Dreamcast, was like, you know what? Even though we don't have fucking money, and our Dreamcast, even though it is selling decently, but not good enough to keep us running, let's release another fucking console. Let's put a whole bunch of money into it and put some aspects that people don't really want. Yeah, that's basically what they're going to end up doing. And right now they're losing a fuck ton of money. So, not the smartest choice right now. So, but that's just my opinion. But again, That's why I prefer Nintendo more than Sony, than Xbox. I like Nintendo. Like I said, I grew up with it. Like also too, like I mentioned, I'm gonna do some reviews for some games. For instance, Resident Evil Revelations, awesome game for the fucking 3DS. Not to mention it's handheld, portable, uh, amazing. The graphics on it are just wow. I was just blown away by the graphics. The story, I know people have mixed reviews of the story for it. Some like it, some don't. I'm okay with it. I actually enjoy the story. The missions are awesome. It kind of goes back and forth to being a survival horror to an action-packed shooter, but mostly the survival horror aspects takes place when you're back on the ship, while the other missions that are outside from the ship are kind of like which are they're sort of flashbacks explaining their side of the story as well, which I like. I like that. I like the diversity there. It's yeah, I kind of like it. I think it's a good mixture. I like it. Um, I definitely recommend Resident Evil Revelations. If you have a 3DS, I definitely recommend it. It is ah really really good. I enjoy it. It's like I said, good game, very fun. Survival aspects of it. The graphics are just amazing for 3DS or something for Nintendo. Story awesome, cutscenes, the animations just so great. Um, Another one, Luigi's Mansion. Now this is another one where people kind of have little mixed thoughts on this one. For instance, I like this. Luigi's Mansion is a very fun game. It's kind of wacky, quirky, and kind of it's got they try to put a lot of a little bit of a mystery type. Obviously try to thrill you a little bit, and I don't mean thrill in a sexual way. I mean thrill as if they try to keep you suspensed. Uh, but they do a good job at it. It's real fun. The graphics for it too. Shockingly, again, it's like you don't really see Nintendo like focus a lot on graphics. Usually they focus a lot on gameplay and a little bit less on graphics. But this right here, very good with graphics and gameplay. So yeah, it's like I said, it's got good graphics, good gameplay. The story is really good. I would show some gameplay, but don't really have anything to give some good gameplay on at this moment. So I'll definitely do better reviews for each of these games in the future. But at this moment, uh, not right now. But again, like I said, very good. Resident Evil Revelations and Luigi's Mansion. Uh, you also got Scribblenauts Unmasked. That is actually a real fun one. Story is kind of basic. It's your evil twin or whatever it is. It's obviously causing mayhem again, getting the villains in the DC universe. It's good. I like it. It's Scribblenauts in fucking DC universe. I mean, what more could you want? It's a fun game, pass the time. See here, you got Paper Mario. Another game that actually kind of shows off what the 3DS can do. Um, the story, it's a basic, Mario story. Same thing. It's got the RPG elements. It's got a little bit more of it's got a lot of side stuff to it as well. It's not like side quest, but it's more of like you have something else to do than just kind of like just go straight through it. There's quite a bit to do. A lot of collectibles to find. It's real fun. It's got its typical RPG elements and stuff like that. It's very fun. Like I said, it kind of showcases what the graphics can do and what the 3DS, well, not the graphics, what the 3DS can do. It's real fun gameplay, really nice graphics. Again, the story, nothing great. It's a typical, Mario storyline. But again, just real fun. If you want something to, pass the time and have fun on, that's definitely a game that you would definitely enjoy. These are actually some games that I have not beaten, but I have played. Tales of the Abyss. It's a great As far as I'm concerned, last time I checked, is that it was a port of from on an older console. But I have to say, I enjoy it. Haven't beat it yet because it's a huge game, RPG, a whole bunch of side quests, and usually it takes me forever to beat these type of games. Same thing with Shimigami Tensei 4. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. This is definitely a game that's going to take me a while to beat, so I'll have like an actual good review for this sometime. And another one right here, Lego City Undercover. The chase begins. That is actually, to be honest, this is actually really good. At first I was kind of, I was like, oh man, it's only going for the Wii U, and they're like, no, they're also bringing it to 3DS. I thought that was kind of like, there's no way in hell they can do it. They did it. Now it's not fully open world like it is on the Wii U. It's kind of, it's separated off from, different locations. So sort of like a Borderlands type open world type feel. It's more like Borderlands. You got areas to explore, and then it loads you up into other areas. But still, it's fully open world. Um, Again, the story, it's very funny. It's very wacky, but it's got a really funny story to it. It's really good. I enjoyed it. It's basically Lego Grand Theft Auto or Lego True Crime. Um, but yeah, it's really fun. Like I said, I'll have better reviews for it uh, in the future. So yeah, I'll definitely have. But yeah, so anyways, the one game though that I am going to talk about right now is also on the Nintendo 3DS is by far one of the most my favorite games. I'm actually glad I so got it. Um, Pokemon X and Y. I don't have Y, but I have Pokemon X. But they're basically the same game. Just you get obviously each edition has the extremely rare one, which is whatever the new Pokemon is. So you have X, you get this one. You have Y, you get that Y-looking one. So yeah. Anyways, this game right here, Pokemon X and Y, by far, if you're a huge Pokemon fan, this is a reason to buy a 3DS is to get this. This is actually another reason if you have never even played Pokemon yet. This is actually one of the biggest reasons to actually get a Nintendo 3DS. Same thing goes with Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. That is the two main games to get for any 3DS is Pokemon X, Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. That's basically it. Like those are the two games that will pretty much set you for the longest time on a 3DS or anything of Nintendo. So yeah, like I said, I will do a lot more reviews. I'll actually do a better reviews for these, which I will actually have video. This one I'm definitely going to save for a special review because this is just an amazing game. By far, I recommend. I definitely, if you haven't bought Pokemon X or Y, definitely recommend to get this for your 3DS. It's unbelievable. It's amazing. The graphics, it's just fun. However, there is some problems with it. It kind of seems like it's been getting like that more and more though with Pokemon games. So they kind of try to make the story seem more about focus on friendship. I kind of miss the old days with Pokemon where it's like your rival for some reason hated you since birth. Like what the fuck? So you don't get that anymore. It's like your rival now is like your best friend and your next door neighbor. It's like what the. But anyways, nonetheless, great game. One of a really big and good reasons to buy a 3DS or to just get this game in general if you have a 3DS. Just get it. It's amazing. This is by far, I highly recommend it. I'll definitely do a rating on the actual videos, but I'll rate each and every one of these games at this moment right now. Pokemon X, I definitely give this a 8.5, maybe a 9. Lego City, I give it around like a 7. It's still fun. This, can't really give a rating for it. Haven't beat it yet. Same thing with this, can't give a rating. Definitely an 8. Definitely an 8 on this one. Around a 7. 7 is and 7 right here, 7.5. And of course, Resident Evil, definitely, this is another reason I should also mention to get a 3DS is amazing. An 8.5. This is really good. So again, YouTubers, I guess I hope you enjoyed this video. I will start to do reviews and more discussions about video games in the future. So again, I hope you enjoyed and have a good day.